Welcome to the wacky world of Immaterial Possession. We found Cooper and Madeline in the middle of the country near Athens, Georgia, just as they're about to release their psychedelicized second album, Mercy of the Crane Folk. What does it all mean? Who knows, but it was fun asking.
Through the night window, when the tide is low, onwards to the fate, gotta radiate.
Yeah, we're making a bunch of fun stuff right now to have at our release show.
Of course.
Some cool props and one-of-a-kind merchandise.
Good old merch, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're busy bees doing that.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking time to talk to me. So what's the live show like? How many people are playing? Where are you playing at? What's it going to be?
Well, we're playing at a wonderful historic venue here in Athens called the Georgia Theater, it's been around a long time, burned down once. It's about 100-year-old theater. It's nice.
Right.
And we're playing with Mdu Mokhtar, who's one of our favorite psychedelic guitarists.
Right.
So we're really excited about that one.
Cool. And is it just the two of you, or is the rest of there more to the live band?
We actually are going to have 5 members playing, which is exciting. And then also our good friend Shitty Bedford is coming up from his woods to do some interesting shadow puppetry design and performance. So
yeah, we having some eccentric friends out here in Georgia, so that we're bringing them in to do something special. So he's going to be doing some bizarre shadow puppets and lighting design, and we'll have an extra 5th member on rhythm guitar to add some fullness.
And some chimes and tambourines and all the good stuff.
So I like to do your friends. I'm guessing they might refer to you as eccentric friends as well. Would that be fair?
I don't know. We're surrounded by like minds, so I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how that is.
It's all just relative up here.
So this is your second album that you've done. When did it start turning into a record for you guys in your minds?
Well, in our minds, I guess forever.
Yeah, this collection of songs has been building up, and so we just, had to get it, and we have other collections piling up.
It definitely felt like it was time. It had maybe already been time once we got recording. But, pandemic era was a different style of managing time and conceiving of what you can do and what, you have to wait for and whatnot. So it actually kind of gave us a lot of extra time to maybe hone in on new vibe, like the new vibe we wanted to go towards, or just spend time.
And how would you describe that new vibe?
Definitely, it's a little bit more of a, I would say, upbeat situation as compared to perhaps our first album, which I noticed because, someone might go to a song from the old album and it might be super dreamy and a little bit moody, and then think that that's what we are. But I think in reality, it's just always kind of evolving and changing. And the live show is actually fairly different than it was a few years ago. Yeah,
a little less dramatic and a little bit more fun and dance oriented in a way.
Yeah.
So it is a psychedelic kind of thing. Were you inspired by some of the psychedelic music of the 60s at all?
Not at all. I hate the stuff.
Yeah. We abhor the 60s and the 70s.
I would say so. I mean, it's all pretty groovy, Yeah.
Now, how'd you get exposed to it? Because you're a couple of youngsters.
But our parents are not. So I think for me, that was my direct route, growing up with the good stuff. But also, a lot of the folk psychedelic 60s mashup,
All right. So do you write together? How do the songs come together? How do you work? Do you kind of work separately together?
Sometimes a band member will have kind of a formed vision and they bring it, and then we all kind of put our little piece on it. Or we do usually we start practice with just playing and improving and jamming together, and then songs just flow out of that. So kind of both ways, individual and group.
Yeah. And I kind of maybe see that as a part of this new space that we're entering in, whereas I would say our first album, maybe there was a little bit more of, okay, this is this creation I made, bringing into the group, fold, and then seeing what happens. Whereas this new album, and I see the future songs that we're working on, is a little bit more like it just appeared as a jam and practice all together. So a little bit more of a pulling from whatever natural energy is just happening amongst us, rather than like my own bedroom, conversation with myself.
So the title of the record is Mercy of the Crane Folk. So I have several questions just about that. What does that mean? What about the song? What about the video?
Authority to share that information. We have to.
Yeah, the Crane folk made us sign sworn statements where we wouldn't divulge where they live or what they're doing, and so we have to keep that mysterious.
You got to respect that. Sure. Okay. So you guys make the videos yourselves as well, right?
We do. Yes. We do. We have a lot of fun doing that. We most of us are painters also, and do 2D art and other mediums. So, having this band, we get to do all of the different things, and filmmaking's one of those adventures. Right. So we shoot on Super 8, mostly on Super 8. And
can you still get Super 8 film?
You can order it from a few places. And for us, it's worth the extra effort because it gives it a real specific quality.
Right. Yes, I used to shoot Super 8 back in the 70s. I was from Rochester, New York, which is the home of Kodak. So
sure, yeah.
Super 8 all over the place there. But,
yeah, we use that Kodak for sure.
Very good. And I noticed, especially in... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just going to add, the process of the Super 8 is extremely relieving. Once you get it shot, that's it. There's no second questioning. Just kind of feels nice to just have a chance to do something and see what happens after that, not worry too much about it.
Right. Now, I was going to say, just listening to the title track specifically, I heard a little bit of a B-52s vibe in there, and I think they were from Athens, Georgia as well. So I'm wondering, is that Athens scene that happened in kind of, with REM and all those guys, are you aware of that? Does that seep into what you do, you think, musically?
Did you say the B-52s is what you heard?
Yeah. I mean, we love them. They're obviously a fantastic, fun band, and the congas that we recorded with and that we have are bequeathed to us from that lineage. So they're the congas that the B-52s had. So yeah,
I was gonna say, literally, it does seep into our band because we're playing with these congas they're the magical congas. You could see them playing within the 70s, like the very early incarnation of the B-52s. Yeah, they're cool. They really hold up.
Yeah. And what's the scene like in Athens other than you guys nowadays? What's the musical thing happening?
I mean, it's always undulating like any place. I mean, it's getting expensive here, but it's still relatively cheap. So there's for how small of a town it is, there's a plethora of artists and musicians. Right. So it keeps it sort of fertile here.
All righty. Now, I don't know if you've signed any affidavits about talking about Medieval Jug, but I kind of like that tune and the videos. What can you reveal about that?
Spilling over without a towel, place me gently on the sundial. Dissect and measure the weight of my word.
was one that I kind of conceived of in my room in a pandemic era. Well, also grief era. It came out of nowhere, as most do, written on, classical guitar, and then just took on the life that it has now.
All right. So what kind of, do you guys have any formal musical training, or you just kind of pick up stuff and play around with it? How did you get into it?
I don't know if any of us have formal musical training. I mean...
No, I think we all just play by ear. Most of our parents play music too, so I think it's like, in that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Kieran was raised in like the Athens cradle, in which he was just surrounded by so many musicians. And then Cooper and our dads are also musicians. And I mean, I think Atlanta, where we came from, there was such like a thriving music scene. And that's really how I consider that I learned or began playing music, was just living amongst all of these very creative, beautifully talented musicians and artists. And just kind of occurring over time.
And what were your first records, or your first CDs, or your first concerts that you kind of went to?
Oh, I guess it depends what era you want to go back to.
All the way back.
All the way back. I mean, I grew up with like the classics, like the Beatles, and Joni Mitchell was a big one growing up. Cat Stevens, that kind of era.
Right.
And then from there, I got really also into Rembetica, Greek music, in like my mid-teens, which was extremely like expansive as well.
I can imagine.
So, yeah, I think that's why our group's kind of interesting. I think that we all just come from similar but vastly different styles and interest. But all
what about you, Cooper?
Of like old stuff.
What did you listen to early on? What was your first musical dabbling?
I mean, it's just too much to my dad was big into music, so I heard, he was big in 60s, 70s, 80s music circles, so he was playing all those records when I was a kid, and just everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I see the record ends with a tune called Red Curtain, which has got a pretty cool guitar solo in it and some keyboards at the end, and Madeline is singing away there. So anything you can expand upon on that track? Why is it at the end of the record?
I think it's at the end of the record because every time we would play it live at a show in the middle of the set, it would just feel like, oh God, like, how are we going to play another song after this?
Yeah, because she always does these epic operatic vocals, and so it's like naturally it's tough to, like top that or do something else after it. So it's a good ending.
And who's playing the guitar?
That's me.
Is it? You're wailing.
Yeah.
Very cool. So when you do your live shows, is there
a guitar written song?
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you do
she
these...
writes most of her songs on the classical guitar.
And
that's how they're. And of course, I mean, we have a piano in the house too, but I think they most come out of guitar.
Yeah. So when you perform live, is there much interaction between you and your fans? Do they want to talk to you? Do they want to find out more about you personally? Do you want to find out more about them? What's that all about? Is it like a scene between you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what it. When you're playing live, it's all about the interaction between who you're playing for, and hopefully together you can build into some, higher levels of connection, I guess, is the whole purpose of why we're doing the
Right.
in the ideal scenario. And if it doesn't work, then sometimes it doesn't work.
And have you taken the show outside of the States? Have you played overseas much?
Not at all. No, we're eager to do that, but yeah, we haven't yet.
Hoping
You
so.
have to come down, check out New Zealand sometime. It's pretty.
Yeah, we'd love
lovely
to.
place.
We always hear about the cheese from New Zealand is supposed to be really good.
You got to get over there to try that.
Yeah,
There is. I can vouch for the cheese. Yes.
definitely.
Very good.
Go in our garden.
Do you want to see our garden?
I'd love to.
Okay, we can take you on a little tour.
Excellent.
Oh, we got a wild creature out here too to show you.
Yeah, let's see. Here's shit. Here's some of our merchandise we're making.
The merch.
Here. We have the patio with our wild creatures,
Oh, there's the cat. Yeah.
and how'd you do this? Here's some of our springtime blooming irises.
Very nice.
And here's Madeline on our Model T car that we drive around town.
I love it. Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Does it actually run?
Yes, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It runs. When it runs, it's so loud though, you can't hear really anything that's
I can
going on.
imagine.
When it runs, it runs away.
fantastic.
Oh, we got to go to the internet. Get closer.
Yeah. You seem almost, because we hear a lot of the news from the States over here, and it seems like the place is just nuts these days. It seems like you're in a little oasis outside of it all. Does it feel like that to you?
It kind of does feel like that, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, if Athens is in no way a perfect paradise, but I
Right.
feel like this little area that we have carved out in our neighborhood where we have friends in all of these houses near us, it's
Right.
pretty close to an idyllic paradise.
Yeah.
So,
and there, yeah. So we walk. You can walk around the neighborhood and you hear various musical brass bands playing and different
Cool. Nice.
fun things.
yeah. And Kieran, our bandmate, lives like 3 houses down.
Right.
So we just go and have porch jam, dinner, hang
Yeah.
out all the time.
It's kind of nice. Oh, well, I'll try to show you this sculpture we made,
Okay.
but it might be too far for the internet.
We'll see what happens.
But this is
It's holding up.
Higher.
Oh, look at that.
He's a very scary man.
so we have this up for the neighborhood children to come by and
Right.
have something to talk about.
I think this might be part of why we keep getting the code called on us.
I have something similar. Let me show you. This guy here.
Oh, excellent. Nice.
Who's that?
There you go.
A guardian of sorts.
Yep. Indeed it is. So, yes, we got all sorts of stuff happening.
Great.
Very good. Well, it looks like you guys are having a ball out there. I'm kind of jealous, even though I am in New Zealand and it is paradise here as well. So,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll come and see you guys sometime, or you can come and see
Come
us.
over anytime.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah.
We'd love to come down there and play some shows. So
Absolutely, do it. And good luck. So the record's out tomorrow or today here, so it's all very exciting. Is it on vinyl at all, or is it just digital or in
It
CD?
is on
Or how's it?
vinyl.
yeah, we have
Of
a
course.
nice apple green transparent vinyl that looks really nice.
Yummy. Excellent. All righty. Thank you very much. You guys are lovely spending time with you.
You too.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Marty.
hanging.
Okay. We'll see you later.
See you
Okay.
next
Bye.
time.